The active voice. Let's look at an example. The dog chewed the bone. In this sentence, the verb is chewed. Who chewed what chewed? The dog. So the dog is the subject. And then what did the dog chew? The bone. So the bone is the object. This structure is the active voice. Why is it the active voice? Well, let's expand on that to see that the dog here is doing the verb, the chewing. The dog's doing the chewing. And what was chewed? The bone. So if you look at our arrows of movement, I call it the verb energy, we can see that we move from dog to chewed to bone. That's the flow of the sentence. And that's what happens in the active voice. But what about the passive voice? With the passive voice, we need to switch some things around. So the bone is going to move to the front of the sentence and the dog to the end. Now we've got the bone was chewed by the dog. Let's annotate our sentence. So the verb phrase here is now was chewed. Who was chewed? What was chewed? The bone. So the bone is the subject of the sentence now. The subject is always going to sit in that front position. And the dog is the agent. So let's unpick the verb energy of this new sentence. The agent does the chewing and the bone receives the chewing. Can you see how now the energy is going the opposite way? And the subject is receiving the verb as opposed to doing the verb in the active voice. Two more examples. Mandy wrote a letter. Here, Mandy did the writing and the letter received the writing. This is our subject-verb-object structure and the active voice. Let's switch things round to make it passive. Move letter to the front and Mandy to the end. A letter was written by Mandy. Now let's look at our verb energy switch round. Mandy is the agent, she's doing the verb. And what's receiving the verb? The letter. That's the difference between active and passive.